Chapter 12, Scorpio. Theme, the transforming mystery. Archetype, the fearless. Dates, October 23rd to November 21st. Motto, I transform. Ruling planets are Mars and Pluto. House, 8th. Degrees, 8 and 20. Modality, fixed. Element, water. Color, black. Body correlation, sexual and reproductive organs, bladder and urinary tract. Keywords, elusive, intense, deep, secretive, and non-superficial. Tarot card, death. Characters and celebrities with Scorpio energy. The metamorphosis of the caterpillar into a butterfly. Hades. Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings. Walter White from Breaking Bad. Carl Jung. Anna Wintour in Bjork. Scorpio playlist. Through Your Soul by Amp Fiddler. 6 Underground by Sneaker Pimps. My Need by Janet Jackson. Private Eyes by Daryl Hall and John Oates. Mr. Magic, Through the Smoke by Amy Winehouse. Season of the Witch by Donovan. Need You Tonight by an Ex. Herbs and supplements for Scorpio. Hibiscus to promote circulation. Mucuna for mood elevation. And maca for aphrodisiac qualities. Crystals for Scorpio. Black tourmaline for grounding and protection. White howlite for unburdening. And fluorite for clarity and expression. In a quote, that's what artists do. That's what poets do. We all do it. We start with something, and sometimes we destroy everything that we've made in order to get to the core place where we've started from. Patti Smith. When it comes to deep dives into the unknown, Scorpio is fearless and succumbs to their curiosity for mysteries. When we consider this penetrative ability to explore taboo or intense topics with their secretive nature, we can begin to understand how Scorpio can be misunderstood. Their fixed modality combined with the water element translates into ice. This ice signifies the rigid or determined nature of all the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius included. In particular, ice changes in dramatic ways. It is either shattered or melted. The chill reflects this sign's intensity, and ice's capacity to shift from solid to liquid is significant too. Despite Scorpio's fixed nature, they can maneuver, and their evolution is found through this process of transmutation. The sign of rebirth understands the alchemy involved in dissolving this for the sake of building back anew. Questions for Scorpio revolve around their secrecy and how their private lives contribute to their metamorphosis. Must they keep the mysteries to themselves? Can they afford to be vulnerable? Should they allow others into their internal process, letting the light be a little bit more? Fitting for their intensity, the scorpion is their symbol. The scorpion is quiet in its approach, but unafraid to sting and get their point across. You may not be able to predict when that hasty tail will strike. The nature of a defensive Scorpio is also like ice, difficult to warm up and capable of shocking the senses. Scorpio benefits from environments where they can let their guard down. They need to intentionally seek out safe connections and melt into vulnerability. In the tarot, as the sign of transmutation, Scorpio's tarot card is the Death card. In the unfolding dramatic scene, we see a knight of death riding on his horse. A priest appears, begging the knight for mercy, and while one figure is in his wake, in the distant corner, we see the sun rise over the horizon. While this theme of mortality is blatantly depicted, the Death card represents a metamorphosis. It can reveal the shedding of one way of being and the transmutation into a new one. But this change is not superficial. It is a deep one. It can indicate a graduation in the school of life and a transformative new chapter. Scorpio's sun. Although they're not an air sign, their intense thoughts can lead to mental anguish. Their wheels are always turning, and they can seem detached from the world around them. In reality, they're engulfed in it. Fearless and obsessive, they can go down Google wormholes and into conversational depths around psychology, trauma, and the afterlife. If you find yourself in their inner circle, you will feel like you can share anything, and no topic feels off limits. Scorpio suns are playful with their inner circle. They are more sensitive than others perceive. They benefit from communication over reclusiveness and letting their partners in on their process. They are passionate in their relationships and life in general, and when something isn't working, they can be quick to cut ties. Throughout their lives, they can go through multiple deep inner transmutations, and their physical appearance tends to reflect this evolution. During those times, they benefit from a supportive mentor or therapist for sound counsel and emotional healing. They have a mysterious magnetism to them that others find intriguing or misjudge. There is a natural authenticity to Scorpio suns, which is usually why they are so selective with their inner circle. Their bluntness tends to cut through inauthenticity. Scorpio rising. Scorpio risings interact with the world through deep probing, and they feel the urge to understand psychological inner worlds. In their quest for information, they are selective in their interests, but obsessive once they've discovered their target. They aren't afraid to ask questions the status quo, and they aren't afraid to question the status quo and investigate tough questions. In relationships, they tend to hide their feelings, leading to inner conflict. To others, they seem to make abrupt decisions and 180-degree turns, but these choices result from their pent-up, hidden feelings. For some, their intensity can lead to power struggles. The desire to achieve the objective, project, or title of their yearning can foster imbalances in their energy or relationships. This intensity can also lead to great achievements in their careers. Scorpio risings usually go through a phase where they favor a dark and intense aesthetic, indulging burgundy, navy, or black. Sometimes their homes take on this gothic-leaning aesthetic as well. They tend to favor one side of their face in pictures and may reveal just part of themselves in shared pictures. Scorpio moon. Scorpio moons value privacy. They keep firm boundaries and pieces of life tight-lipped. It's important that they only share once they feel ready and safe. They benefit from establishing relationships where they can be themselves. They are emotional deep divers, making it difficult to form intimate connections with those who aren't venturing into the depths. Authenticity is among their highest relationship priorities, and fakeness feels like kryptonite. When hurt, the effective road to self-soothing is rumination, mirroring Cancer placements, and they feel strongly about injustice in relationships. Scorpio moons desire to grasp the psychology behind human behavior. They benefit from speaking their feelings and cultivating their vulnerability to feel secure in partnerships and develop intimacy. They also benefit from processing feelings in a productive way, such as journaling, creating artwork, or through therapy. Scorpio moons find liberation through the transmutation of their feelings, but this can be an arduous journey requiring the surrender of obsession or control. Through processing, they can connect to a deep reservoir of personal power and change their circumstances. Scorpio is a fixed sign, meaning this change can take time, but the results will be anything but superficial. Venus and Scorpio. For Venus and Scorpio, their partner's ability to embark into psychological realms will pique their interests. They are sensitive, intriguing, and mysterious, and these qualities can attract an assortment of people into their lives. Their partner should be aware that with this sensitivity and intrigue, those with Venus and Scorpio are learning the art of sharing themselves. They are learning not to become fixed water or ice as a defense mechanism. They are learning not to sting with their tail, which is quick to whip around at offenses. But they are, like the rest of us, learning. This placement benefits from responding instead of reacting when hurt or offended. In finances, Venus and Scorpio can be emotionally ruled, and spending can become a power move. They can invest in luxury brands or a purchase that impresses others, but is more tied to their sense of self. Scorpio is the sign associated with sex, and Venus and Mars and Scorpio are highly sensual placements. Intimacy can become a means of transformation and of feeling renewed. In matters of the heart, Venus and Scorpio can take a while to open up as they are not easily vulnerable. They may hide from love or keep parts of themselves hidden to feel safe. Their music and fashion taste can be more dark or intense, and stylistically, they tend to incorporate lace, velvet, or leather into their wardrobe and decor. The partner for Scorpio, Sun, and Venus. Scorpio can be bold in love and, when they want, with expressing their deep feelings. Scorpios value a partner who appreciates their deep probing into the intricacies and complexities of life. A partner who isn't afraid of authenticity and affords them space for themselves is important. Conversations around the psychology of human behavior, sociological musings, and deep intimacy must be comfort zones for their partner. Scorpio's partner shouldn't be freaked out by haunted houses, creepy things, or the unsolved mysteries that captivate this sign. In friendship and love, it is though they chose you instead of you choosing them. Typically, this is a challenging sign to cozy up to, so their letting you in reveals something trustworthy within you. In younger or less evolved years, their attachment style may have been avoidant, or they seemed detached in love. For a period of their lives, they can crave feelings. Hold on. For a period of their lives, they crave feeling understood while being terrified of intimacy. Once they are more mature or desire stability, They are incredibly steadfast partners, capable of the gamut of playfulness to seriousness. They allow themselves to embrace their carefree and serious sides. They care greatly about their relationships, and a lifelong partner will take their career and reputation seriously. This is a sensual sign, although their desire for intimacy is more hidden than the Venus-ruled signs, Taurus and Libra. Having the lowest threshold for deception, dependability, and authenticity are vital for Scorpios in their partnerships. Shadow work for Scorpio. The shadow traits: isolation and rigidity. The evolved traits: vulnerability and compromise. The lesson: the theme of transmutation combined with a fixed modality lends an intense tension to Scorpio, which shapes your life lessons. You are learning how to shift and change and how to exchange energy and be in partnerships. Assessing emotional stubbornness and releasing obsession or enmeshment will benefit you and your relationships, leading you to adapt and grow. The advice: you are so cool and everyone knows it. But for the sake of your freedom, can you lean into what you judge is cringe? Would your health benefit from greater authenticity in your creative expression? Instead of staring at the screen, peering in at others, abandoning their self-reserved expression, find your voice and share it. You might surprise yourself and others with how you still make everything look cool. Shadow through the tarot. The Death card in reverse indicates stagnation. This is like pressing the brakes instead of moving forward into necessary change, and it emphasizes the stubbornness of the fixed modality. There is a message of surrender here, as this card urges us to relinquish control of the status quo or the way things currently are. Allow for the change that is underway. Even in the reverse, the sun is still coming up over the horizon, and a new day, while different, can deliver something sweet. Reflections for Scorpio. What can I do regularly to connect with my playful side? Which new activity or hobby am I curious to try? Which practices can I incorporate to ground and nourish myself? Am I withholding my vulnerability in a particular relationship? Affirmations for Scorpio. My ability to transmute pain into wisdom is one of my greatest gifts. My capacity to dive deep is an asset and naturally aligns me with a close community. It is safe for me to love and be seen. In my expression, I can be cringy, vulnerable, and worthy at the same time. Practices for Scorpio energy. Find your community. You're not just designed to fit everywhere and mold yourself for every scenario. That is perfectly fine. Besides, you don't really want to fit in everywhere, but you do crave feeling understood and appreciated. You deserve an inner circle that gets you, even if that's an intimate one you trust. You are worthy of these type of connections. While others want you to drop your guard, you need a supportive community to do so. Create a healthy outlook. With your secretive nature, it's common for you to repress your emotions. You need a healthy way to release them before they accumulate and you react with your Scorpio stinger. Consider journaling or communicating your feelings through blunt conversations. Cardiovascular exercise and creative projects benefit you too. Practices that feel good and cathartic are essential. Speak, don't stalk. Your natural desire to understand, combined with your secretive nature, can have you living in the shadows and avoiding the deeper levels of intimacy. In relationships, ghosting, obsession, or emotional avoidance can become a default. You will benefit from moving out of your comfort zone, which can look like avoiding rumination and expressing your feelings, even when it doesn't feel safe. Embrace your spiritual side. You are one of the alchemists of the zodiac. It serves you well to dive deep and satiate any natural curiosity toward astrology, tarot, or spiritual practices. You might find yourself more interested in psychology and shadow work too. Lean into your mystical yearnings and explore the practices that call to you.